Now we'll shift our attention to the World Future Energy Summit, of course, where the president was just a few days ago at the United Arab Emirates, where various countries discussed the challenges facing them in the provision of efficient energy for their population. President Muhammad Buhari was at the opening of the event days ago. The summit, which is now in its 9th year of existence, has developed into one of the world's most influential events dedicated to advancing future energy efficiency, and clean technologies. Dayo Adeshina, the president of the Nigeria Liquefied and Natural Gas Association, joins us to discuss these issues raised at that event. Good morning, Dayo.
Morning, Bolaji. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the program. We've had a series of meetings that affect the global energy needs. World leaders have been discussing the future of energy in the UAE. The focus has been on renewable energy. Do we have anything to learn from the conversation?
Yes, I think just like you in your introduction, energy efficiency is what needs to happen. If I give you a perfect example of that, of what I'm talking about, Portugal, as a country, has a mixture of sources of supply for their power. They have wind power, they have solar, and thermal plants, which gives them energy. And guess where the gas comes from? Nigeria, 100%. So energy efficiency is what's critical, looking at the future.
Now, there seems to be the alternative sources of energy. They've highlighted wind, solar, and thermal plants. But where is Africa in terms of developing its energy sector? You rightly mentioned that we're supplying these countries with gas, and they are making, very, very good development in terms of how they've been able to use the gas that they get from this country to develop their energy sector. So where are we as a continent using Nigeria as a case study?
Well, again, depending on the way we plan, which is critical, we have substantial gas reserves, and we need to be able to have enough projects from harnessing those resources to be able to implement and take advantage of that to supply the west coast of Africa. 187 TCF of gas is a substantial amount of gas, but if we don't develop it, then it's just going to remain as reserves. We need clear-cut policies on how to harness. I mean, a lot of investors are waiting on the sidelines, but if you don't have proper gas pricing that would attract people to play in this sector, then all you're just going to do is sit down and keep saying that you have substantial reserves.
I'd like us to talk a little bit about gas flaring. The Senate Committee on Gas Resources has actually directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and its subsidiaries to submit to it the detailed audited accounts for the past 3 weeks. And one of the things that the committee raised was that it is blaming the federal government agencies for the worsening incidence of gas flaring in the country. How do you think we can address this problem and use the flared gas to our own economic advantage?
Well, if you encourage better collaboration between the regulator, the private sector, and the government, then that makes it easier. Now that our prices have dipped significantly, you're going to see a lot more concentration on trying to harness those resources. Gas flaring, I mean, like you said, Nigeria is the second largest gas flaring nation in the world after Russia, and that's money you're burning away. At the same time, we need the power, and so we have to have various incentives to be able to allow people to say, okay, we're going to take a positive look at this sector and we're going to develop it. It was easier in the past to just pay the penalties for gas flaring, which were really nothing. But now that we're sort of in a semi-crisis in the power sector, we need all the resources that we can get and we can harness. You need to be able to say, okay, if you stop flaring this, these are the incentives. Or even if you can't do it as an owner, you can get a third party to access that and put in the structure to strip the gas for liquids and sell back the wet gas for power. That also includes putting infrastructure. And so there needs to be concerted effort between government, the regulators, and the private sector industry players to be able to get this going as quickly as possible.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari, in his opening remarks at that meeting, said that Africa is suffering from the consequences of climate change, while reaffirming Nigeria's readiness to work with the UAE on this. Now, how can the effects of climate change be mitigated, especially in developing countries like ours?
Well, the LPG sector, which I had, plays a significant role with this. I mean, desertification in 19 northern states is affecting this country, and the only reason this is happening is because, first of all, there are no laws protecting people cutting down trees indiscriminately, and LPG really is the cooking fuel of choice. So the government needs to be able to harness this from using firewood to LPG program where LPG is readily available. There's almost 5 million tons of it being produced in the country. About 3 to 4 million tons of that is being exported. And a significant amount of that can be deployed internally into the country for people to cook. And once that happens, then, I mean, reliance on firewood is reduced significantly. Also, dirty fuels like kerosene. We need to have a kerosene to LPG program as well. That saves the government a lot of foreign exchange from importing kerosene, and they can make more revenues from using the kerosene as aviation fuel. So there's a lot that can be done for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, since the president has committed to 20% reduction from Nigeria. And this is where I think the LPG sector plays a significant role in trying to help the government do this.
If we look at what is going on in the global oil markets, where there's been no investment, countries are not investing in infrastructure now in terms of oil production, do you think that we should pay more attention to investing in gas infrastructure in order to provide everything we need to drive our economy?
Absolutely. I mean, gas is such a unique product. You can use it as auto gas, you can use it for power. The byproducts of it is used in industries. So yes, I mean, definitely we need to do that. For too long we've sat back saying, oh, we have a gas master plan, and yet nothing happens. I mean, there has to be a clear-cut agenda, and for all the stakeholders to key into this, and we have a way of pricing appropriately the gas so that a lot more players can come into this sector, and then we can harness those resources.
All right, thank you so much, Dayo Adesina. Dayo Adesina is the president of the Nigeria Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association, and we've been talking about the World Future Energy Summit that is wrapping up today in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. On this note, we've come to the end of Business Morning. Many thanks for taking out time to watch the program. We do hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be glad to hear from you. You can send us your comments and questions to our Twitter handles, and we'll be glad to respond as much as we can. Thank you so much. I am Bolaji Akiwale. Bye for now.